The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Well, I'm back. I feel real good about myself. So while I was away on vacation, I just had to go and check out a couple stores, and I've seen something embarrassing and new in the Star Wars realm. So without any further ado, let's get out of here and hit the music. So here we are at my local Target, and the words Star Wars make my heart sing or make my heart cry. I can never tell which is which. So here we have at the bottom, Baby Yoda. Quite a few Baby Yodas. They made you think that the demand on these things would be so high and crazy, but they weren't. There's a bunch. Let's take a closer look at this little guy, shall we? So Baby Yoda looks pretty good, life-size, accurate, all that other crap. L'enfant, if you will. Excuse my French. No one else will. And what's it say on the back? I don't care. Let's put him down right here. Oh, little Baby Yoda has taken a faceplant. Oh well. So, up next we have something very dumb. D.O., the Smart Droid toy. Just because you can connect it to a smartphone doesn't mean a kid's gonna buy it. And D.O. is the prime example of that. Look, he's $150. What can he do? Well, first off, he can connect to your smartphone, so that makes it instantly cool, right? He can also chase a ball, self-balance, move his head, light up LED, and you can control him with your phone. So he's basically not as good as a video game, but they're gonna keep trying to sell you this crap. And Baby Yoda is still on the floor. Up here we have some of those ugly Galaxy of Adventure figures, but we also have another D.O. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, D.O. Spark and Go. Awesome. Made by Hasbro. Oh no. Spark and Go fuck yourself. Anyway, moving on, we have quite a few of those things. But we also have some Black Series figures, and we have Jaina, or Jana, or whatever she's called, and Luke Skywalker. Let's see, is this the Luke Skywalker that spelled his name correctly? And yes, they spelled his name right on the front. Now we have to check the back to make sure they spelled it right on the back. And they did. So back here we have Rey. Who cares about Rey? We also have Lando. This figure is from 2018, folks. Solo: A Star Wars Story came out over 2 years ago. We have another Rey and another Luke. And you know what we're going to do? We're just going to put Luke right here in front of Lando because the face of the franchise deserves to be represented. And there's still Baby Yoda on the floor. Guys, help the Baby Yoda. So if you don't succeed at first, try again, fail, try again, fail. D.O., fail again. Here's another D.O. action figure. Every format, every style of size of D.O. you can get right now. Because sadly, that little guy didn't take the world by storm. Like nothing from this franchise did. So we have the lightsabers, the staple of any Star Wars. Ooh, a dinosaur. Anyway, the Millennium Falcon, moving on. And we have Darth Maul. I almost called him Darth Ray. Well, played by Ray Park. You'll have to excuse me. And there's Baby Yoda still on the floor. Will somebody pick up that Baby Yoda? Not me. I won't. So as we're looking here, we have the Probe Droid from the Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Collection. And it's a very nice figure, Black Series, 6-inch scale, highly detailed, nicely sculpted. And again, it is part of the 40th Anniversary Collection, but where is the rest of the 40th Anniversary Collection? That's right, it's sold out. Star Wars toys still sell if they're based on the original trilogy. Yeah, there's not much based on the original trilogy, or the original trilogy, but there's this awesome dinosaur. I mean, that thing's giant, that kid looks happy. Or maybe he's realizing what lies ahead. The worst Star Wars merchandise ever. So, as you can see right here, we have Luke and Vader, and what is up with Luke's eyeballs? He looks like a puppet, and look what he can do. He can wave his lightsaber back and forth. Awesome. Great. Even these sound effects won't make this cool. Trying to, but they're failing miserably. If you ever wanted to see what Star Wars would be like with everyone having a stroke or a seizure, here you go. 2020 is your year.
It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did.
See what I mean? So moving on from Luke and Darth Vader, we also have a Stormtrooper versus BB-8. Talk about a battle of the century. So of course the Stormtrooper flails like he's on crack, and yeah, BB-8 rocks back and forth like your grandma's favorite rocking chair, or the chairs you can buy at your local Cracker Barrel. Delicious food, great prices, Cracker Barrel. Not a sponsor. Now, here's the one that embarrassed me the most. Poor Chewbacca. Yes, poor Chewbacca. With Porgs. Awesome. The Porgs get to do their thing, and Chewbacca fights with a stick. Yes, Chewbacca fights with a chicken on a stick, or a Porg. So this is one of the few Star Wars toys that you can buy the live and the cooked version of in the same package. So if you're one of those types of collectors, this is the collection for you. But, yeah, Chewbacca, crack eyes, awesome. And Luke's lightsaber will never not be disrespected. Let's just give it to Porgs, let's just do dumb shit with it. So now, over here is the Marvel selection, and I wanted to share this for a specific reason, because I'm starting to see a trend, not just in this store, but across the country. Black Widow is going to be the figure that is going to be the most easily found in the future. We also have movie figures, and you're going to see even more of these movie figures. So, yes, a nice painting of Scarlett Johansson. I suppose this doll was meant to look like Scarlett Johansson. It kind of looks like Scarlett Johansson, or Donna from that 70s show. But as you can see, there's a lot of Black Widow stuff here. As we fade out, we have, and now this was across the country here in California, and still more Black Widow. Now people are saying, Jeff, they haven't made any other Marvel Legends figures. They actually have. They've been selling very well, and they keep pumping out new waves no matter the virus status. But for some reason, Black Widow has sat on shelves. I guess it goes to show that the character only has so much popularity outside of film, and it's not as much as they thought. It makes me wonder, would the film have been a massive success had it come out when it was planned to be released? And then, of course, we have the Star Wars selection. Equally barren from across the country, but one slight difference. First off, we have Rey. That's awesome. Said no one ever. I'm so excited to talk about Rey. And Jaina, or whatever her name is, but it looks just like Naomi Aki, so thumbs up for accuracy. Over here, though, we have Lando Calrissian, the only 40th anniversary figure left on store shelves. What does that say about Star Wars collectors? A lot, because that Lando came out just a few years ago in a different box, so maybe that wasn't enough to get him to buy it. But you can see there's Luke, TIE Fighter pilot, Rebel Trooper, and an R2-D2, and those are all gone. But what is here is Baby Yoda. And I don't even look at Baby Yoda. We have plenty of these jet troopers. They fly now? Well, guess what? We don't buy now. Jokes do not equal sales figures. But this Mandalorian thing's pretty neat, too. It's nice that they're doing, cosplay stuff for the kids, but keeping it accurate to the screen in terms of color. None of that orange and yellow crap that I had to deal with as a kid, like in Star Wars. Bye, Star Wars. So I've been getting a lot of messages from listeners telling me about J.W. Rinsler, a prominent writer of Lucasfilm books, and his recent words about Lucasfilm. Now, I'm going to be making a more in-depth video next time, but since he mentions the merchandise, I thought I'd add this to today's video. Jedi Temple Archives had a nice little transcription of his interview, and let's take a look at it, shall we? What all changed at Lucasfilm after Disney bought the company? J.W. Rinsler is an author of various Making of Star Wars books and former executive editor for Lucasfilm. He was with the company for 15 years and had begun work on his Making of The Force Awakens book when things fell apart. Perhaps you remember Rinsler's blog and the story revolving around his cancelled Making of The Force Awakens book. Eventually, Rinsler's blog, where he wanted to go more into detail, was deleted, and Rinsler had to sign an NDA with Disney that basically forbids him from talking about many things Star Wars fans are really interested in. You can listen to the entire podcast on the Forcecast website. It's about 70 minutes long, so you'll need some time, but the relevant questions are beginning at the 17-minute mark, when J.W. Rinsler becomes a bit more concrete about things that had changed when Disney took over for Lucasfilm. First, Rinsler talks about how things used to be before Disney. We were the licensor, and the licensees were anywhere from Hasbro, later Lego, and all these companies and all the publishers. Dark Horse and Random House, and they could just pick up the phone and call whoever was responsible. There was no mid-level bureaucracy, and so we wanted the licensees to make money, because the more money they made, the more money we made. And we wanted to work with them, and we didn't want to complicate things by holding a lot of things back, and insisting that everybody come in hazmat suits who were going to read the script. It was very relaxed. In fact, the first day I was there, literally my first or second day, they just said, here's a VHS copy of the work in progress of episode 2. This is the latest cut. You have this little TV and this little VHS recorder and player, and you sit in your room and you watch it, because you need to know what's going on in order to edit the books that have to do with episode 2. Now I'm going to stop that right there, and I'm going to get into that in its own video, but I wanted to talk about the approach, the change to the Star Wars merchandise, because I remember back in the day, the books would come out a couple of weeks, a couple of months before the film, and people weren't worried about spoilers. Now, yes, of course, the internet has changed things, but Why do you keep the people in charge of making your products in the dark? Are you afraid they're going to blab to Twitter or social media? Clearly, J.W. Rinsler respects the NDA he signed and won't go into details, but the fact that these novels, these graphic novels, these adaptations of these Star Wars films come out months after the films are released, it's too late. The hype's gone. It's over. You can't sell that ancillary merchandise after everyone knows the story. I mean, personally, I went out and bought the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull comic book a few weeks before the movie came out because I was so excited. Yeah, I should have got a hint that the movie was going to blow based on that comic book, but hey, the comic was better than the film. Just like Spider-Man 3's novelization, a much better book than it was a film. Therefore, you can see why I was so excited to see the movie, but again, times have changed. People mistake the new sequel trilogy stuff for, the secrecy for quality. Everyone bought into J.J. Abrams' mystery box this and mystery box that, and at the end of the day, we're still left with a bunch of questions, and nobody cares for the answers because the product wasn't that good. When the merchandise for The Force Awakens came out, it was all a bunch of bait and switch. Oh, Finn's the hero. Finn's got the lightsaber. He's the Jedi. Well, then you see the movie and it's Rey, and you go, okay, well, fine. Hopefully in the next film they stop with this crap. So then you get to the next film, and you're like, oh, we're going to find out about Snoke. He's so important. He's so prominent. Let's make action figures and dolls and all these things about Snoke. And then they just kill him off. And also in that film, you have Rose Tico. Now, I know we've taken plenty of pot shots at Rose Tico, and it's not stopping anytime soon, folks. Don't worry. But again, she was marketed, her figure was created as this important Star Wars character, and she is a thing of legend. If you thought General Madine didn't sell, Rose Tico is a joke. For 50 cents, you can get Rose Tico or a cup of coffee, your choice, but I think the coffee has more value. And it's the same with Episode 9. I mean, you saw in the video today all these Janna figures. Oh, she's going to play a big prominent role. She's barely in the movie, and when she is, she doesn't do much. Another, I need to find my place in the galaxy character. Well, good for you. We found your place on the store shelves, rotting with Rey and the other jabronis. Now, this could be because the characters aren't as well received, or the way we consume merchandise is different, but if the HasLab approach shows you, people still buy toys. That's why you can crowdfund over 9,000 stock units of a Sentinel from the X-Men, or Jabba the Hutt's sail barge. There are collectors, there are demands. No matter what the financial situation is economically, people still want this stuff. But the fact that we live in a world where you can get these giant Sentinels crowdfunded, but nobody wants to buy your $12 action figure of a character that you think is the greatest thing ever because the company tells you, well, it begins to put things into perspective. And, it makes me think back, speaking of Rinsler and his whole earlier days at Lucasfilm, as a kid, I remember Episode 1. Oh, the hype was tangible. It was palpable. I could feel it. And you know what? I thought Mace Windu was going to be a much bigger character. I saw the film. He wasn't, but he was cool, and it sold me on the character already. When we get to Episode 2, they do those preview figures with Zam Wessel and Jango Fett. You're like, oh my god, they're going to be so great. And you got excited, and I bought a Jango Fett figure, and then he just kind of died. It goes to show you Lucasfilm really cared about making money. If you listen to J.W. Rinsler's interview, he talks about the licensors and the licensees, and when the licensees make money, the licensors make money. And fans want to buy stuff. Fans want to buy Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia and comic books and all these things about characters they like, but they don't do it anymore, and it really is the one thing that everyone in the media wants to ignore. And they've changed the way that Star Wars does business, and now Star Wars doesn't really do much business. It's a shell of its former self. So I think this is the perfect place to end today's video. It's great to be back, vacation was fun, but everything's back to normal. And before we go, I wanted to share this little cut that I made. It just goes to show you that no matter how many special effects or sound effects or anything you lump on modern Star Wars crap, it's still crap. So without further ado, allow me to present to you the Star Wars Thumb Battlers rendition of the famous, iconic I Am Your Father scene from The Empire Strikes Back.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
So folks, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As I said, I am back. It is good to be back, and, I needed the vacation, but thank you for everyone who recently joined the channel. Welcome, and let's go on this journey together through the decline of pop culture, and, let's have some fun on the way. So folks, if you enjoy what we do, hit us up with that thumbs up button and share us all over social media after you subscribe. And if you want more, we're over on Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way, but $5, which is 17 cents a day, goes even further and gives you access to all sorts of awesome stuff. And we're going to be expanding over to the membership program here on YouTube, as well as Subscribestar, and offer you guys multiple platforms to consume more world-class bullshitters merchandise on. So I got a big surprise coming up in the next few days, so make sure you guys follow us on social media, or just keep watching the videos. We put updates at the end of each one. And it's something big that you guys want. Some of you know what it is, some of you don't, but it's exciting, and it's coming very, very soon. So from all of us here, thank you for watching, but most importantly, folks, always be excellent to each other.